Colonial Oaks Catastrophe. CCR question 1. How does my product use or challenge convictions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? Product. Our product is a horror crime film about a kid who goes to the park getting dropped off by his dad. He loses his ball under a bridge, finds it as a kidnapper starts to chase him. He then gets tackled, beaten, and driven to the back of a van, or dragged to the back of a van and driven away. Our social issue? Our social issue is to project the dangers of kidnappings and how dangerous the world can be for children. You can go anywhere, you'll see children left unattended, especially ones when you go to the park, beach, or any attraction area. And this can be really dangerous as the world is not what most people want it to be, and it can be really dangerous. And the point of our film is to hypenize this danger and to creep out the parents thinking about their kids all the time and get this really stuck in their head. Casting. Almost every single horror film has an antagonist who are dangerous, scary, blending in with the night, or quite the opposite, like a clown who stands out. We decided to follow the convention of crime where you will usually see the antagonist or the robber or anything, there will be blacked out, always blacked out, black masks, black everything, black weapons. You will always see that in crime films, and in horror films, you will see antagonists who are usually bigger than the protagonist. And the good thing about that is our two actors are both over 6 feet tall, and one of them who will be in the chase scene is really big. So he will be able to convey the conviction of that in our film and get that similarity going. Our location, horror films are known to be gloomy, bleak, filmed in places like haunted houses, abandoned buildings, small towns, remote cabins, heavily wooded areas, abandoned places like hospitals. Crime films are also involved. You will also see poor neighborhoods. Uh, Under Bridges is a big one for crime film. Always drug dealing, like dangerous homeless people, I guess, too. Cartel, whatever, graffiti a lot. That's a big thing in crime. And our location, we have both abandoned. We have a woody area. We have that goes with the horror convention. We have under the bridge. We have graffiti, and we have a pathway that goes with crime convention. And the good thing about this, it mixes together both of those conventions of horror. It really gets the familiarity of horror and crime movie. It's, the props that we used. Bloods, weapons are really popular in both crime and horror. More in crime for weapons though, as batons, guns. We couldn't use guns in our film. It's too risky at a park where there's children and people. So we decided to use a baton. And blood is really it. You'll always see it in a horror and crime film, someone dying, bleeding out. You'll always see it there. It creates the tense, familiar feeling and adrenaline rush. A child's toy, though, for example, our basketball that we're using, it it's the opposite of this. It makes the setting feel more friendly and the atmosphere better. And the mix of these can play with your feelings for both horror and crime, and it'll just mix together really well in a film. Camera work. I didn't work too much on my camera work. I was that actor. Brant Channing was the camera guy in our film. There was 4 people in our group. Brant Channing, Cooper Buck, Sean Carr, and me, Javen Bryant. Sean Carr and Cooper Buck were both the antagonists in the film, and Brant was the camera guy, so Brant did that. A convention of horror that we use in there is the overpowering shot of the antagonist. That's usually seen in many horror films. We used a ground level shot to get an overpowering shot of the antagonist beating me with a baton, or beating the kid, I should say, with a baton, and it really empowers the the antagonist in that shot, and it's a really popular shot used in many horror movies to give off that creepy vibe. Our wardrobe, for our wardrobe, we wanted to just, for me as the teenager in the film, sweatpants, sweatshirt, but I wanted me to feel a little younger in the film because I don't look too young. So I used red and blue colors, and I had a white Nike Dunks on to make it seem a little more childish. And popular popular thing for a popular convention for crime and horror, black. It's really popular. Scream, for example, the antagonist is black. Has like that black fit on, like soul, like a reaper, you know? And for crime, you'll always see blacked out people wearing robbers, whatever, in that film. Editing. Editing was mostly done by Cooper Buck, cutting and putting together clips and shots. We added dark red letters in our introduction and main character. It's a popular convention used in movies like It and A Nightmare on Elm Street. You'll see very creepy writing. As you can see, I have done this writing for all of my slides in this PowerPoint. And a similar convention was doing slow shots at the beginning of the film. And as the conflict rises, the shots get faster and faster as the main plot in the chase scene starts to set in. Lighting. During our film, we use more natural light, and for most of our film we did that, except for one shot where a convention, it's just seen throughout all of film. It's not necessarily just for horror and crime. You can see it in romance, comedy too, really anything. You'll see someone standing under a light pole, especially when it's raining and it's just the one light pole lighting up. It wasn't that noticeable in our film, but it was still there. Not sure if it was too light out for that though. So that's a maybe in our film. Sound. Sound was where we did we decided to go against the regular conventions of horror and crime. In the beginning of our film, we used a diegetic sound of a music playing the song I Don't Want to See Tomorrow by Nate King Cole. And we used that going into non-diegetic sound of throughout the whole film. All you will hear is that song going. It's more of like a creepy, it, it's like relaxing and soothing, unlike crime and horror, so it really stands out and makes it more creepier than it should be. Like if you're playing like a really happy song, as there's like a creepy Barbie, or like a creepy Barbie singing like a really friendly song, like it gives off that sort of vibe. And unlike other films, for unlike other horror and crime films, you won't be hearing any running, panting, cries for help, leaves crunching, the sound of someone getting tackled, gasping for air. Really popular. We went against that. And the storyboard layout. In the beginning of our story, creating this, we tried to do a cops and a robbers type of scenario, but we wanted to mix in different things to get something more thrilling and get the audience and ourselves on edge. And we decided to mix horror into the film, which was a really good idea, as we could fit that in really well with crime. Crime and horror can go together really nicely if you use the right if you have the right plot. It's pretty common too. A representation of our social issues or groups. Well, we represented the dangers of leaving your child somewhere by themselves, as showing in the film the reality that the world and not everything is safe and can be trusted, and it's not as perfect as many people think it is. And you can tell throughout the film when you watch it, it really does do that. And I'm really happy about that. And what did we try to showcase? That's what we showcased. We showcased that there are more monsters and cruel people in this world than you think, and that the world's not a safe place, and you need to be careful and watch out for your children who especially can't defend themselves or anything compared to someone who is an adult, really, unless they're really fit. So we wanted it to get in the audience heads of the targeted audience, which is around young adults around 20 to 25, maybe early 30s, which those are young audience, those are like the ages when people have kids. And we also wanted to target the teens who always go out alone, trying to sneak out, do all of that stuff to show that you might want to be more careful of what you do.